Welcome to Arca's Neet Biology, and today let us discuss the structural organization in animals. We know that the life has been started from a single cell. This group of cells of similar function and origin are aggregated together to form a tissue. And these tissues of similar function and origin are being associated together to form an organ. All these organs are coordinated together to form an organ system. These different types of organ systems are present in an organism. So here let us discuss how these different types of cells are being present and how they are being aggregated into tissue and how they are being helpful in the formation of organs and production of entire organism. Coming to the definition of a tissue, tissue is being formed by the aggregation of the cells of similar function and origin. The study of tissue is called as microanatomy, or it is also called as histology. The term tissue was being coined by the scientist Bichard. So he is also called as the father of modern histology or microanatomy. And now, broadly, these tissues are being classified into four types. They are the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and neural tissue. The tissue consists of the cells as well as the extracellular matrix. The extracellular matrix is being changed from one type of tissue to another type of tissue. Okay, the composition of this extracellular matrix is being varied with the type of tissue. Now coming to these different types. Okay, now epithelial tissue means it is always providing the covering. Epithelia means upon. Epi means upon. Thelial means lining or growing. So here these epithelial cells always provide a covering to the body or to the organs or to the cavities. So these epithelial cells or epithelial tissue is being originated from both three types of germinal layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So all these germinal layers are supposed to produce or synthesize this epithelial tissue. What is the function of this epithelial tissue means it is responsible for protection, absorption and secretion. Now the second type of tissue is connective tissue. The name itself is saying connective. It is connecting one with that of the other. And this is mesodermal in origin. Its function is to connect and support and transportation. Okay, next is muscular tissue, and this is also mesodermal in origin, and this muscular tissue is responsible for inducing locomotion and movement. Okay, and coming to the fourth type of tissue, that is nervous tissue, it is ectodermal in origin and that is responsible for control and coordination in human body or receiving the sensory impulse and giving response to that sensory impulse is under the control of this nervous tissue. And coming to the first type of tissue, that is the epithelial tissue. Here, this tissue has a free surface because this itself is providing the outer covering. Okay, and which faces either towards the body fluid or towards the outside environment. So always we say it as the provider of covering or lining to the body. And this here the cells are tightly compactly packed with each other and there is little intercellular matrix. And here there are two types of epithelial tissues, namely simple cuboidal epithelium and compound epithelium. Now here the cells, if they are arranged in a single layer, then we can call it as the simple epithelium. If suppose the cells are being arranged in many layers, that is the epithelial cells, if they are arranged in many layers, then we can call it as two or more, then we can call it as compound epithelium. Okay, so this we can call it as the compound epithelium and this is the simple epithelium where there is single row of cells which are tightly attached together with a little intercellular matrix. Now coming to the attachment, as I told you, the cells are tightly packed. For this packing or tight association, they require the adhering substance or cementing substances. So here if you think this as one cell, okay, so here, if you assume this as the one cell and this is the other cell, one cell is attached or tightly bound with another cell. So this we can call it as cell junction. Or here there is certain adhering substance which join one cell with that of the another cell. And now what are the examples of these cell junctions means? It may be the tight junctions or adhering junctions, or simply we can call them as desmosomes, as well as the gap junctions. Okay, these are the three types of junctions which are present in between the epithelial tissue for tight joining. Okay, now coming to the tight junctions, as the name itself is saying that the tight junction, tight association between the two cells. Here you can see one cell is tightly packed with that of or tightly attached with that of another cell. So this type of junction is called as tight junction, and it stop leaking of the fluid from the cells. They are present in the sweat cells or in the sweat gland. And the next type of junction is adhering junction or desmosomes. And here these are being present in the epithelial cells as well as muscle cells, which are having chemical substance or protein called as desmosomes, which are responsible for adhesion. Now here if you see, if you think this as the one cell and this is the another cell, one cell is attached here. This is one cell and this is the another cell. One is attached to the other with the help of the rivets, rivet-like structures, which are nothing but the intermediate filaments which are made up of a protein called as keratin. So these rivets are responsible for adhering one cell with that of the another cell. Next type of cell junction is gap junction, and this gap junction facilitate the communication between the cells. So these gap junctions are also present in the plant for moving of the ions as well as the amino acids across from one cell to another cell in the plant, that is the plasmodesmata. Coming to the humans, we can see these gap junctions in the cardiac muscle, where there is a sharing of information from one cell, that one cardiac cell to another cardiac cell, so that all the cells undergo contraction as a single unit and all of them undergo relaxation. So this is being done by the active sharing of information across the all the cells. So this heart in humans is called as myogenic heart, because heart is an autonomous unit. It is undergoing contractions and relaxations. It is not depending on nervous system for each heartbeat, but the overall functioning of the heart is under the control of nervous system. So we say the heart is myogenic, but it is not a neurogenic. Now coming to the types of epithelium, depending upon their organization, this epithelial tissue is classified into two types. That is the simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Simple epithelium means if the single row of cells are being present, then we can call it as simple epithelium. Compound means many layers of this epithelial tissue is present. Okay, so we can call it as the compound epithelium. Two or more layers of this epithelial tissue is present means we can call it as compound epithelium. Now, depending upon the structure, this simple epithelium classified is again into three types. They are simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, and simple columnar epithelium. So if you see the simple squamous epithelium, here the cells are flattened and they are present as a single row. Okay, and this forms the lining of the blood vessels as well as air sacs of the lungs. Okay, and they help in easy diffusion of gases as well as nutrients from the blood. The next type of cells are, the tissue is simple cuboidal epithelium. Here the cells are arranged in a form of cube. Okay, so here as a single layer these cells are being attached. So the nucleus is present at the center, And here these are the epithelial tissue which are having the cube like structure. So here this is the diagram. Okay, so this is the flattened cell, this is the cube shaped cells which are being present as a single row, and these are also present in the ducts of glands and the parts of nephron, that is proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule of nephron, and their role is for secretion and absorption. And the next type of epithelial tissue is columnar epithelium, and these are having the column shape, that is they are long and slender. Okay, if this elongated structure is present, then we can call it as columnar epithelium. Okay, this is the cube shape and this is the columnar shape. So this is the columnar epithelium. Okay, the cells are elongated. And here also, in between these columnar cells, they consist of special cells called as goblet cells, which are responsible for secretion of mucus. Or else, they may consist of the cilia-like projections on their surface. Okay, and here these hair-like projections are present. Okay, so here these are being present in the lining of stomach and intestine, and they also help in secretion and absorption. Now coming to the cuboidal epithelium, here this epithelium is present in many layers. Okay, this also provides a protection against chemical and mechanical stress. Okay, and these are present on the dry surface of the skin, moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, as well as all the inner cavities in the urinary bladder. All this compound epithelium is present. Transitional epithelium is present in the urinary bladder. And now coming to the special modifications which we can see in this columnar cells means we can see microvilli which are present either on the cuboidal cells or on the columnar cells. Okay, microvilli means these are projections which are being present. Okay, this may be present, this microvilli may be present on the cuboid cells or on the columnar cells. If they are present, they increases the surface area of absorption. In the cuboidal cell, cuboidal epithelium where it is present means in the PCT of nephron, PCT and DCT, free surface of intestine, as well as in the gonads, that is the reproductive tracts. Whereas this cilia is also present on the free surface of either the cuboidal or columnar epithelium, and they help in removing the dust particles, or it also helps in sticking of this foreign particle to the mucus which is secreted there. And this is also present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes. And the other type of epithelial tissue is glandular epithelium. So here also either the columnar or cuboidal cells are being undergoing certain specification to produce a secretion. Example for this glandular for secretions is it may be the single cell which gives secretion or the group of cells which are aggregated together to form a gland. Okay, so it may be multicellular. So unicellular cell which is responsible for secretion is the goblet cell. Goblet cell produces mucus in the alimentary canal. Multicellular means it is made up of many cells. Okay, so here example for that is the salivary glands. This gland is responsible for secretion of saliva. Okay, so this we can call it as multicellular secretion. And depending upon its function, this glandular epithelium is again classified into different types. They are the exocrine and endocrine. If the secretions are carried by the duct, then they are called as exocrine. If they are carried without ducts, ductless secretion, they are called as endocrine secretions. Example for these exocrine secretions are merocrine, epicrine, and holocrine. In merocrine, the entire cell is being present at that place. Only the secretions are being released out. Okay, now in the epicrine, the apical part is being pinched off to release its secretion. In the holocrine, the entire cell is disintegrated to give its secretion. Example for this epicrine is mammary glands. Example for holocrine is sebaceous glands. And for merocrine gland, it is pancreas. If you like the video, share and subscribe. Press the bell icon to receive further notifications. This is Pravalika signing off.